Hey, sports fans, Larry Eater here. This is Socialing the Distance with a special interview for the Nike collaboration with RunBlogRun called The Journey to Compete. Today we have Cooper Lutkenhaus. Hey, Cooper, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How you doing?
Good. So Cooper has the under 20 American record for the 800 and the under 18 world record for the 800. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So you just finished your second run of the day. Now, do you work out with the high school team or do you work out on your own?
Yes, so I work out with the high school team, which is definitely a big positive. I've done both. I've ran on my own for a whole year before, not fun.
Yeah, yeah.
To be able to be with the team every day in the morning and afternoon, if that's cross training, if they have a double run,
Uh-huh.
it's just nice to get to always be with them because those are my best friends that I hang out with every day. Like on
Cool.
my lunch table is my best friends who run on the team. So
Oh,
it's really
nice.
nice just to get to be with them all the time.
Now, what's the name of your high school?
Northwest High School in Justin, Texas.
Now, where is Justin for people who don't know Texas? What's the
So the closest I would say if the Texas Motor Speedway
Mhm.
is right next to it actually.
Okay,
But
cool.
if you want to go the next big city, 30 minutes from Dallas,
Okay,
30 minutes from Fort Worth. So it's, in the Metroplex area, really close to, if you want to go have a good time down in Dallas or somewhere, there's always something to do.
cool. Now, who is your coach?
My coach is Coach Capo. His first name is Chris. So he's been my coach for, man, it's now maybe two, no, 1.5, 2 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
So not that long. So I had a different coach my freshman year, and then he took over the summer going into my sophomore year. So it's everything's worked out really well. So he obviously knows how to coach. So
Oh,
that's
yeah,
always
yeah.
positive.
Um, how did you get involved in running?
So I've always grown up with running. My dad was a high school coach, actually at Northwest when I was a kid.
Oh, cool.
So like one of my favorite stories is anytime it wasn't a PE day at like my elementary, I'd do 800 meters around the track.
Oh, wow.
With his high school team, whenever they do their like 2 mile warm up, I would just run 800 of it.
Uh,
Um, and I always saw it more as a punishment. Um, I won't lie, there was days where I'd lie and say, "Oh yeah, I had PE today." There was definitely a couple days of that, but
sure.
uh, it, I feel like that's kind of where everything started. I wouldn't say the joy for it yet,
Yeah.
but that's probably when I was really introduced to the sport.
Now, when was that? Was that early high school?
That was elementary school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I've been in the running, I guess I've been around running my whole life.
Mhm.
I mean, ever since kindergarten. So it's just always been a part of who I am.
Cool. When did you start racing?
So if you don't count in elementary, I used to do like 2 weeks of it was kind of this little track community and like it's just a bunch of elementary kids running like 100, 200, some like little hurdles.
Cool.
If you count, I guess, actual racing, it'd be middle school.
Okay.
Seventh grade years when I started with cross country. Um, and cross country wasn't always my favorite, still isn't, but
Yeah.
when seventh grade track season hit, I really found out like this is something that I enjoy. It, it was there was something different about the sport.
Mhm.
Just knowing that it's up to you. It's not like, in football or basketball, you could do really well but still lose the game.
Mhm.
Where track is if you don't do well, you're not going to win, but if you do well, you still might not even win. But there's just something different about it, and I really enjoyed, every meet that I ran at.
Now, what was the distance you ran early on?
So it was the 800 actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
I ran everything in middle school.
Uh,
My big goal was so like seventh and eighth grade, it was to break like all the middle school records that we had. A lot of them were set by my older brother at the University of Tulsa.
oh,
So
nice.
that was kind of something that I always, strive for was to see how much I could break them by and how many I could break.
Sure.
So I ran the 800 and 400. Those were kind of my main two events in middle school, with the mile and It was actually the mile and a half for us in middle school occasionally. And then just the 800, like I was good at it, but I wouldn't say it was like, oh man, this is awesome. I just did it because
Yeah.
I thought I was good at it. But obviously, it's kind of different now where it's a really fun event.
Um, in junior high, how fast did you run the 800 and the mile?
So if you count Nike Nationals after graduating eighth grade year, I ran 153 and 48 and a quarter.
Wow.
But I guess if you count in a junior high uniform, so not like my
Yeah.
own uniform, I ran two flats and 51. So a
Wow.
big drop from eighth grade track into that summer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you like the 400?
Yes, it's probably my third favorite event just because it goes 4x4, 800, 400.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
anything can really beat the 4x4, but
Yeah.
I just love the speed side of it and just you still have to have that strength. And I think that's such a hard thing to balance as a 400-meter runner is being able to have that top end speed, but also be able to hold it for a long enough period of time.
Now, in high school meets, would you do the 400, 800, and the 4 by 4?
I would, yes.
Wow, cool.
So all my meets, like district, area, regional, state,
Yeah,
to get to the state meet, I did all three events every time. Because 800, obviously, that was the best event I had. 400 was my second best. And then our 4x4 was always good enough to have a shot to make the state meet.
cool.
So obviously the 800 was the main focus of everything. If you asked me what event would you want to make it to the state meet in, it'd always be the 800. So, it was definitely a tough freshman year was, man, why do I got to run three events?
Yeah.
Especially probably one of the three hardest events to put together. But I feel like the first time I did it, like was at my regional meet to qualify for state, and we actually made it in all three. Like a couple days before, I was like, why do I got to do this? Why am I running three races?
Well, that's pretty
But
honest. No, I get that. I get that. Um,
but
but you like it.
yeah, oh yes, definitely, rethought it after, making it in all the races, and it was like, this is, it's not as bad as you think. It's actually really enjoyable.
Mhm. Do you see yourself as very, very competitive?
Yes, very. I don't like to, I wouldn't say I show it very often.
Uh-huh.
It's more of a mental thing. But whenever I step on that line, I'm making sure that I leave it all out there. I think winning's the best feeling. And that can be in anything. Just being able to cross that line first, I feel like it's something different. Especially doing it at big races.
Yeah.
That's always better.
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, yeah, very, very competitive in my eyes.
Now, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
So I have two older brothers. So my oldest brother George he's just finished swimming at Adams State in Colorado.
Oh, cool.
And then my middle brother Andrew is running at the University of Tulsa in Oklahoma right now. So pretty athletic family in my eyes. And then like my dad ran in college and my mom did all sports in high school. So
Awesome.
we've just always grown up with the sports.
So I interviewed Mondo Duplantis when he was 17. It's the first time I interviewed him. And I knew his dad when he competed at the pre back in the 90s. And Mondo competes with his brothers who are baseball players and his sister, and they all compete against each other. Is that the way you guys are?
Yes, always competing with each other. It can be in anything.
You play
So
board games?
no, because that will end poorly for somebody.
Ah,
Normally me, because I normally get them wild up pretty easily.
yeah,
'Cause,
that's
uh,
cool. That's cool. Um, what's school like right now for you?
it's high school.
You're a junior?
Yes, junior year. So,
So what are you taking this fall?
so right now I'm in English 3, Algebra 2, US history, forensic science, and then a teaching class that I take where I go over to like the elementary and help out as a teacher intern or a student intern.
Cool. What's your favorite class?
US history.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Good for you, man. Yeah, I have a European history degree. I love history. It's really
yes,
fun.
history's my favorite for sure.
Now, tell me about this forensic class. That sounds kind of cool.
So I took it because my older two brothers, when they were in high school, they took it and
Yeah.
they loved it. So I was like, oh, if they like it, we all kind of have the same interest in everything. So I was like, I'll probably enjoy it. I definitely do. It's definitely interesting to, kind of learn about just what forensics is. I honestly, when I took the class, I was like, I know it's about blood and stuff like that, but what is forensics really about? So
Sure.
kind of getting to learn that has been interesting. It's definitely one of my more favorite classes to go to during the day.
Mhm.
So it's definitely been fun.
Now, are you running cross country this fall?
No, I am not, thankfully. So since being with Nike, I can't run high school, obviously.
Okay, yeah, yeah, because
So yeah,
considered an elite athlete, correct?
yeah, yes. So there wasn't gonna be any cross country after, USA's. There probably wasn't gonna be any cross country anyways,
Yeah.
just because the season had gone so long and I needed a rest. So, but then obviously when I went with Nike, that cut it all out. So, maybe a race or two next year, maybe
Sure.
like a 5K or something, but nothing like doing a 10K.
Okay. Okay. Um, Talk to me about going professional. Was that a hard decision for you?
Yes. I think the most important thing, kind of sitting down with my parents and coach, was what are the pros and the cons of
Sure.
both? Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, the cons, I guess, of turning pro, it's like you don't get to race with your high school buddies. But the pro is you're still training with them every day. You get to go to the meets, you just don't race.
Okay.
But I remember something that really put it into perspective was my dad said, "Would you rather race in the London Diamond League or would you rather race the local meet right down the road?"
Yeah.
And obviously, it's always tough to kind of, because that's just what you've always grown up doing.
Sure.
Um, but I think just you again, you don't get those opportunities all the time. And I feel like a lot of people have said it's like, strike when the iron's hot. And I definitely felt that that's what we did. And so far the decision has been really well. And I'm just excited for the what the future holds.
Cool. Do you go on social media at all?
I'm on social media, yes, but I try not to really look at, obviously you're always going to see stuff
Yeah.
good or
Yeah.
bad, but I think the way that I look at it, you just you just got to take it like a grain of salt. It's like somebody can say, why is he trading like this? But the training's working, obviously.
Oh no, it is. I think you're doing all the right things. I'm really proud of you, and I think you've really handled yourself well. I want to talk about the U.S. championships a bit, if you can go back to that. Um,
Mhm.
this is going to sound a pretty simplistic question. Were you nervous before you ran the U.S. senior champs?
So for the finals,
Yeah.
honestly, not really.
Okay.
I think there's two things to it.
Sure.
One, I think there was just no pressure on me to really do anything.
Yeah.
And I always think that's such a big positive too. I could go out there and run 144 and get last, and nobody would say it'd be a good thing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you ran 144, you made the final. That's awesome. And then also, I got to race people that I've looked up to for the past couple of years now. Like I remember when we walked down into the tunnel doing stride, I just kind of had a smile on my face. I was like, this. I'm sitting next to Donovan Brazier, Bryce Hoppel, Hoey, Brandon Miller. Like you, no other high school is really, besides Quincy, obviously, but not many high schoolers get that opportunity. So to
Sure.
be able to do that, it's why not have a smile on my face and go enjoy it,
Mhm.
and just let's see what I can do in the final. I had no expectations for myself.
Mhm.
I just wanted to, see how high I could place and run.
How did you feel before the first round at the U.S. champs? Were you nervous then?
I was more nervous for that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No.
I,
No. I get it. I get it. And how did you feel during that race? Did it kind of go the way you thought it would?
yeah. I think honestly the reason it was the most nerve-wracking was just because only two people didn't make it out. You
Yeah.
didn't really want to be those two people. I didn't want to, go all the way up there just to get knocked out in the first round and not come close to running like a PR or something. But I hadn't raced for a while. I think it was maybe a month
Oh
since I had
wow.
last raced,
Yeah.
Nike Nationals. So it was definitely a shock to the legs. That first 200, even though I only went out in like 26, if
Yeah.
and I do 25s, 26s in practice, but I think it's a little different when it comes to a race scenario when you have people all around you. Um, So it was definitely a shock to the legs after, but just being able to recover and then just be ready for the semis.
Now, before the U.S. champs, did you do the Hoka Festival of Miles?
I did not. I did Brooks PR and Nike Nationals.
Tell me about the Brooks PR.
So Brooks PR, that was when I first set the national record
Yeah,
outdoors, 146.26. So that one, it felt good to break the record. That I'll be honest, that's what I was shooting for all year was
sure.
to try to break it. And to finally be able to do it like a meet, that's always competitive there. It was really exciting. And then just to get to go down to Nike Nationals, I don't know, 2 weeks, a week later, and do it again in pretty bad weather, pouring rain. That one was really special.
That's
Just kind of the week leading into it wasn't perfect, so to be able to run faster in worse weather was just it was amazing.
um. Let's talk about the final at the U.S. Championships.
Okay.
Um, Take me through the race. Tell me how you felt the first lap.
Yeah. So going into the race during warm-ups, I felt really good.
Mhm.
Like the semis was the hardest race I've ever ran before. I think just trying to come back-to-back days was really tough. So
Sure.
to get that day in between semis and the final was, I think that's the big reason why I did what I did, just to have that one day off,
Uh,
and just keep it super relaxed. But going into the actual race, I I was confident in my ability to run fast and hopefully place high. I wasn't thinking honestly, I wasn't thinking top three. I was thinking maybe, fifth, sixth in that area.
yeah,
Um, that first 200 it was fast.
yeah,
That whole first lap was fast. So, coming through 200, seeing I think I was 25 low. I kind of backed off the pace a little just because I knew Josh was going to take it out. I knew
yeah,
it was going
yeah,
to probably come through 49 mid to 50 low, which it did, 49 low. So just kind of backing off that pace a little bit, the second 200. And then the plan was to move at 200. But if you go back and watch the race video, I moved out about 250 to go into lane two to start kind of swinging by people.
sure.
And then really with 200 to go is when I really started to push it. Just because I came through 117 and felt amazing.
Wow.
There was no
Yeah,
pain with 200 to go. Um, and just kind of coming off that final 100 and just the noise. I don't know if there's ever been anything louder, but so quiet and just ever.
yeah,
You you heard the noise, but you were so focused on what you're doing, you didn't really hear the noise. But when
yeah.
you go on back and watch like the TV broadcast of it, it was loud.
Oh, yeah,
So I don't know, like that final 100 is like engraved in my head. Just it 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 was special. So just that final 100, just kind of working my way up. And then when I realized with about 20 meters to go, 10 meters to go, I was kind of on the team in that second to third spot. I was like, wow. And like I didn't know what I ran until I put my hands up and looked at the clock. I was like 142. Like
yeah,
I knew I could have ran 143 high, but 142, where did that come from? So there was a lot of positives for sure in that final.
yeah. I was right above the finish, and I'm watching Donovan on the inside with one eye, and I'm seeing you start passing people, and I'm going, oh my God. And I'm just watching. And then I took a look at the clock and I'm going, this is going to be insane. And
Mhm.
it was, I've watched every trial since 72. I've been to every one since I think 84. Um, I can't think of a better race in North America for the 800 except Sebco's
Mhm.
when he got the silver in 84 because I was there when
Oh,
Joachim Cruz won, and that was tremendous. But that when we got to interview in the mix zone, you were seemed pretty well there. Was it just blowing your mind how fast you run?
yeah, I think something that like anytime I really run a fast time, I don't realize how fast it is at
Hmm.
the beginning moment.
Yeah.
In a way, I still don't really know how fast it is.
Yeah.
Like I know it's, top 20, I think all time in the world, but it's crazy to think about that I did that at 16. So,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've always been running pretty fast throughout, middle school all the way up to high school. In a way, it's like, oh, I think this should be normal, but I know this isn't normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a weird feeling for sure, just knowing what I had done. I think it definitely took about honestly a month to kind of let everything settle in.
Sure.
It was a long time for just to be like, wow, like this this really just happened. Not even thinking about what I ran, just like that just happens.
Did Donovan Brazier say anything to you afterwards?
Him and Bryce kind of talked, on the infield right before. Um, we, talked on the TV and stuff, and then kind of talked below. Just
Yeah.
getting to hear from guys that I've always kind of looked up to.
Yeah.
It's pretty special. So, what I love is they're just normal people.
Yeah, no, they're good guys. I mean,
That
Bryce and
yeah.
um, Bryce is polite as you. He's
Mhm.
from the Midwest,
Same.
and Donovan. I've known Donovan since he was 18, and it's
Okay.
fun to. I teased him one time and asked him what his longest run was when he was 19, and he said he had not gone farther than 8.5 miles, and I just started cracking up. But it makes sense, right?
Mhm.
Um, do you see yourself? So some 800 runners are more strength runners, 800,
Mhm.
1500. Then there's some runners who are speed runners, 400, 800. What do you see yourself as right now?
Definitely more speed.
Okay, cool.
In my opinion, I think my 400 PR is more impressive than my mile,
Uh-huh.
46.3 to 406.
Yeah,
Um, and I just enjoy the speed a lot more personally. I know the strength is really important, but if you ask me, Cooper, would you rather do 10 by 200 at 26 or 3 by mile at 440? I'm always going to choose the 10 by 200.
sure. No, I get it. I
It's
get it.
I
Seb,
love the speed part.
yep, Seb Coe took second in the British Championships one year at the 400. His
Oh,
best
wow.
was 46.2, just so you know. So I'm just trying to give you the little bit and I think he was 20 when he ran his 46.2. But
Okay.
he always came from the speed. Have you got to meet uh, President Coe, Seb
I
Coe
have
yet?
not, no.
Okay, okay. I was just curious. No, I got to interview him a couple times. I got to talk to him after the 800 final in Tokyo, and he was sitting with David Rudisha, and they both thought the world record was going to go. And
I
then
did too.
when at the end of the race they said, "Well, world record and British record is still there." So I made sure I had that quote. Um, let's talk about Tokyo. Tell me about the experience. Now, I heard um, you had your own room, right? Because you were under 18 and you couldn't
Yes.
share a room.
Yes. So, funny story about that is they asked me, "Do you want to share a room with Bryce or Donovan?" And I was like, honestly, this is more about them than me.
Okay.
In my eyes, if I was, those guys are, I think, what, 20, 28,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to share a room with a 16-year-old. No, they asked me, they didn't ask those guys yet. So I was like, no, I'd rather have my own room so they don't have to share a room. Now it's
Yeah.
also nice to have your own room, but
Oh yeah.
the experience in Tokyo was amazing. It was definitely different than USA's for sure.
Sure.
Um, which honestly I didn't really know how different it would be. I'd be like, oh, it's a different country. Sure, the time zone's different, but how different could it be? It is
Mhm.
very different. Japan and America are very different places.
Oh yeah.
So, and I knew that going in, but you don't really realize until you're actually over there trying to,
Oh sure.
just find a simple place to eat.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Did you get to have a little fun
I did.
before or after your race or not?
So after the prelims, so my coach was there, my family, and everybody that kind of came. We all, we explored Tokyo a little bit. It's really cool to kind of get to, obviously, you don't know when you're going to be back there.
Yeah.
That's a place I feel like it has to be on your bucket list just because it's Tokyo, Japan.
Sure.
It's,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it's it was really cool, just to kind of get to see all just the different culture was really neat. So just kind of learning off everything. I feel like that was one of the hardest places to have my first ever, international race, just with it being so far away. But I think yeah, obviously it didn't go how I wanted to, but I think it's going to help so big in the long run, just
Sure.
because I've done this before. I know what it's like to be 13 hours away from home,
Yeah.
racing in front of 60,000 people. The biggest I've ever raced in was either probably USA's 6,000.
Yeah.
Maybe my state meet might have a little more. But 6,000 to 60,000 is a big jump. But it was, it like stepping on that track and looking up in the stands is like, I'm here. Like nobody can take that away from you.
Yeah.
So just to be able to have that moment and, always remember that, it's really special.
How did you feel during your prelim?
Not great, honestly.
Uh-huh.
I really believed that, going into the race, I was really fit. The workouts I had done leading into it were amazing. But I think just my season had been so long. I didn't
Yeah.
know I was going to end in September. I didn't know I was going to end at USA's. I didn't, before USA's, I was dealing with a little IT band issue. I didn't think I was running USA's. I'll be honest, I was out of it before USA's. I said, I want to be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
No, that
remember
makes
what
sense.
my dad told me, and it kind of sticks with me is you, we don't have to go to USA's. It's your call. But whenever you're healthy, because again, I was healthy right before USA started, you're going to be sitting at home watching those races saying, I could be in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I'm really happy that I stuck with going through because obviously it paid off.
Yeah.
Um, so just kind of always remembering that none of this could have happened if he honestly didn't tell me that.
Sure. Sure. Um, the let's talk about cross country for a minute or two. Um,
Okay.
so you got a bunch of cross country high schoolers about your age. They're going to be seeing this. Um, Tell them what you find challenging in cross country.
I just say how far it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
A 5K, it's not a long way, but when you're running, especially with how fast like my district meet is, it's the hardest district in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to average 4:45s at
Wow.
least.
Oh, yeah.
It's obviously it's a little short course. It's
Yeah.
3 miles, but and it's very flat. Like we always joke about the coach with that. But my sophomore year, my goal was to make it to our regional meet, state meet, and at district we came through 4:38 through the mile.
Wow. Wow.
And I felt great until I heard that, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's over." So definitely did not go well those last 2 miles, but cross country's fun. On how much I don't enjoy it, I still enjoy it just for the team side.
Sure. Sure.
That's like it's track. You don't really have that much team grouping together,
Yeah.
but in cross country, you're only as strong as your seventh man.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
your seventh man can't perform, it doesn't really matter how honestly, your 2, 3 guys perform.
Yeah.
So always keeping that in mind and just like at our district meet this year, our guy team ran really well and just kind of getting to watch them have a great time and perform, to the best of their ability was awesome to see.
Cool. Cool. Are you going to run indoors this next season?
Yes, I will. Hopefully, be at the bigger meets like Milrose or
Cool.
USA indoors, hopefully, as long as everything kind of goes to plan.
Um, Track and Field News just gave you an award. How'd you feel about that?
Awesome. I really appreciated that. I feel like there was a lot of people that, also could have deserved it. Like Owen Powell ran amazing this year. Tate Taylor ran amazing. Just two names that I remember off the top
Yeah.
of my head. To be able to win that, especially from Track and Field News, one of the biggest, if not the biggest running just group out there. Just to be able to be in the conversation for that, is really special. And, actually to win it, it's, very, very grateful for that.
No, you deserve it well from the Bible of the sport, as they call it.
Thank
So,
you.
I
Yeah.
my first Track and Field News issue I still have from 1974,
Oh,
and Rick Wohlhuter was on it. He was an 800 guy. He broke the 880 record at a meet that Steve Prefontaine put together to raise some money for Hayward Field back then. They called it the what became the pre
Premium.
classic.
Mhm.
It was called the Hayward Restoration back then, and
Okay.
Pre and Frank Shorter ran a 3 mile, and then Rick Wolhuter came and broke the 880 record. So it's a pretty neat. Um,
Hmm.
you're running in meets that have a lot of history, which is kind of
Yes.
cool too.
Mhm.
Do you have a favorite 800 runner that you look up to?
Oh, um, my brother's definitely up there since he runs the
Really?
800. Um, just because I feel like he was a big reason I got into the 800.
Uh-huh.
To see him be very successful in college right now is, it's fun to watch. And just because me and him have such a great connection with each other. And then I guess if you go over to the professional side, obviously you have Bryce, Donovan, Josh, all those guys. I say if you go, I guess, quote unquote, older, Nick Simmons has always been somebody that I've always liked to watch.
Nick's a good guy. Yeah, yeah. I got to
Yes.
watch him win his medal, and he's always a lot of fun. He does some great stuff on. He used to do some really crazy stuff on YouTube,
Yes.
which I loved. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
I actually
Yeah.
just watched one of his, I've watched it many times, but I just like to go back and watch some of his stuff. It was him like reacting to the London 2012 when he made the final with
Oh yeah,
Dwayne Solomon. He makes a lot of good stuff and it's always, I feel like he's just so patriotic and just loves the sport. It's hard not to root for him.
that's. Oh no, no, I get it. I get it. I'm going to talk to you about your training shoes. What shoes do you use on easy days?
So I rotate almost every day in between two pairs of shoes. So
Okay,
currently I'm in the Structure 25s
okay,
and the Vermeeros. I think it's the 17s, 18s.
okay.
So those are kind of the two I rotate for daily runs. So, Monday and then switch Tuesday, just kind of depending on when daily runs are. Um, they're definitely my favorite too at the moment. I feel like I really got into structures because of my brother. He's like, you should probably try these.
Yeah.
And they were awesome. And then the Vomeros, I started with the 16s and tried them one time. I actually got them at the Nike Elite Camp, which is the shirt
Oh,
I have
cool.
on. And I was like, man, I've never tried these before. Probably put 400 miles on them.
Oh, good.
I used them until I started feeling my foot hit the ground instead of the
Yeah,
cushion.
yeah,
So
yeah.
definitely wore them out, but they're my two favorite shoes at the moment.
What do you do your fast work in?
So now it is going to be streak flies. I
Okay,
haven't used them just yet because I haven't had anything fast.
sure.
But we're going to soon. So streak flies, and then kind of for those longer distance tempo stuff, it's vapor flies.
Okay, cool,
Um,
cool.
so kind of
What are your, go ahead.
just kind of whatever the workout is. So if it's maybe like just throwing out something random, 10 by 400 at 65.
Yeah.
I use streak flies for that, just because it's that little bit faster pace. But if it's like 70 and above, I stick with the vapor flies.
What are your workouts like right now? What's a typical week look like for you?
So I actually haven't had any workouts. I've had a 4 by 800 last
Okay.
week, but this week it's a little bit different. But Monday I had a 6 mile run at 5:55 pace.
Okay. Okay.
All on the track,
Oh,
which
wow.
yeah, 6 miles on the track. We do a lot of track work, even if it's easy runs.
Yeah.
And then yesterday was a easy 5 miles. Today was the first time I've ever done a double run. Very first time.
How did that feel?
Tired. My legs are a little beat up this week,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that happens sometimes. So
Sure.
I did 4 miles in the morning, just three in the afternoon, just kind of see what it feels like.
Yeah.
But so I'm a student intern for my high school, so I go to the elementary. So I actually had a field trip today. So I was I had to do my 4 miles early in the morning so I could make it to my field trip with my elementary school, and then 3 miles in the afternoon. And then tomorrow is just an easy five again, 5 or 6. And then Thursday, same thing. And then Friday, we actually have a time trial that I'm pacing.
Oh, wow.
Um, I'm running the full thing, full mile, but I'm just leading it for whoever the top guy is, just in some streak flies. So hopefully try not to uh, fall off even if I'm pacing.
Um, okay. You've survived 40 minutes with me. You've done a great job. So we're down to the final five questions.
Okay.
Okay. What workout do you do as you're getting ready to race that you may dislike, but you know it is really good for your race readiness?
Ooh, that is a great question because I don't hate many workouts. I think anything more with that longer distance stuff,
Sure.
anything that normally is like a mile to start out at like
Uh-huh.
440. Um, I can't remember the exact workout, but I think it was before USA's. It was like a 1 by mile in like 440. And then I think it was, yeah, 1 by mile, 440, 6 by 200, all 26 to 25s. And then another 1 by mile in like 430 high. I think
Wow.
it,
Yeah.
so that one was tough. I hated it, but I didn't hate it, but it's just, doing that alone can be pretty tough sometimes, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty used to it. So, I knew, when I finished the workout, I was like, man, I felt amazing. I was like, that can just be a long workout sometimes.
Sure.
But I honestly don't think there's really a hated workout.
Okay, that's cool. What's your
There can
favorite workout?
Favorite workout. I think one of my favorites is it's 4 sets of 4-3-2.
Okay.
Normally the first set is 2 mile pace, so that can be 70s,
Okay. Okay.
like 70-second pace. And then the next 2 sets are mile pace, so 60s, 59s, that type of pacing.
Okay.
And then the last set is 800 pace. So that can
Wow.
be a 50. This past year, it was like a 53, 54 second quarter.
Mhm.
Not exactly 800 pace, but pretty close to it. A touch off. And then like a 26 second 200 and like man, I don't know, is that a 41 second? Um, or no, a 38, 39 second 300.
What what are your tempo runs like?
So
Do you
I
do any
don't
tempo runs?
do many tempo runs exactly.
Okay.
So we call them either easy runs or upper paced runs, if you
Okay.
consider
Okay. That's
more
cool.
tempo. So like that 6 mile run that was at like 5:55 would probably be considered our tempo runs.
Hmm.
We do a lot of progression runs a lot just because everybody's kind of on our team in that strength phase because cross country is over for us
Sure.
and we have like 4 months till track season starts for them. So everybody's just running, 40, 60 miles a week right now, just, trying to get, as fit as possible for track. So, like one day it was though the guys had 7, I think I just did 6 of it though. Just because I just started back. So it was like start at 6, I think it was 7 flat for their first mile, and then we cut 15 seconds per mile.
Okay.
So it was 7 flat, 6:45, 6:30, 6:15, 6 flat, and then what is that? 5:45 was
Wow.
my last mile,
Well,
which was definitely tough for it being the first one back.
sure.
And then the guys still had another one after that. So it was like one of our top guys closed in like a 5:30 something for his last one. I was like, you're fit right now.
How did you feel during that 6 mile at the 550 pace? Or 555?
This week, it was a little rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
My my body this week is not like I'm 100% healthy. My body's just a little hurting right now.
Sure. No. How much
It's just
time did you
nerves.
take off after Tokyo?
I took 2 full weeks off,
Good
so
for
a lot
you.
of time. Yes,
Good for you. That's
definitely
really,
needed.
I think that's really healthy and important. Do you spend a little time on hydration?
Yes, hydration is very important. It can be tough during school sometimes. You're in
Yeah.
class, you don't want to have to go to the bathroom every period.
Yeah. No, I get
Um,
it. I get
but
it.
I've kind of just thrown that out the window and just if I have to go, I have to go now. I try to get in, got to bring a 32-ounce Gatorade bottle to school every day just to make sure everything, try to drink like one of them every 2 classes.
Yeah.
So basically a bottle a class, like a 16 ounce, just to make sure I'm, as hydrated as I can be. And then really when I get home that's when I put on the extra, 3 or 4 bottles.
Sure. Do you do any weight work?
Yes, so I do a lot on my own, but I also do a lot with the team.
Okay.
So with the team, it's more heavy stuff like hex bar deadlift. Like this last year, I think the most I put on it was 350.
Wow.
So heavy lifting for sure.
Yeah.
And we did that a lot. We're currently not doing anything just yet. Just kind of everybody got a break from it for a little bit. Now we're building back in, so we'll probably start it next week. Um, but I've been, my coach knows I'm doing some stuff on my own. He's 100% okay with it. It's not heavy. It's just, a lot of reps just to make sure, the motion, everything still feels good.
Good.
That's probably why I don't feel as great this week, just because it was, I guess, quote unquote, a little heavier and some more reps.
Sure.
So it's, kind of nice just to make sure everything still feels, good and everything still, all the muscles are still, getting some exercise in.
Well, Cooper, you have survived 45 minutes with me, and I promised your dad that I'd probably go 40 to 45 minutes. Thank you for taking some time. I really appreciate it. It's
Yes,
really
sir.
been a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing you indoor season. I'll come up and say hi,
Yes, sir.
and I will probably send you a note or two. I'll send you this after we're done with it,
Okay.
and then I'll send you the newsletter as well. But we're with Cooper Lutkenhaus, who is the under 20 American record holder, the under 18 world record holder, just come back from a break after Tokyo. And today was the first time he's done 2 runs in a day. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Cooper, nice to really talk to you. And thank you again for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.